Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei reaffirmed his commitment to enforcing the mandatory hijab law during a meeting with senior regime officials on April 4th. Khamenei framed the law as both a political and religious requirement. He added that the hijab issue will definitely be solved, but did not specify how exactly regime officials should go about enforcing mandatory veiling. It is noteworthy that Khamenei provided no specific guidance on how to enforce the hijab law, given that regime officials have articulated different theories on how to do so in recent days. Khamenei's explicit endorsement of mandatory veiling on April 4th differs from his vague reference to this issue in his Vows address on March 21st. Khamenei previously implied that the economy should be the primary topic of inter-regime debate in his Vows address, implying that socio-cultural issues, such as the hijab requirement, are not up for discussion. Khamenei contrastingly stated on April 4th that choosing an economic slogan does not mean disregarding social and cultural issues. Khamenei identified solving Iran's economic problems as critical to promoting societal cohesion and stability. Khamenei stated that economic problems have a negative effect on the people's culture, thoughts, and behavior. He further stated that solving Iran's economic problems will give the population a feeling of comfort. These statements suggest that Khamenei may believe that the public will accept, or at least be more amenable to, various social restrictions, such as the hijab law, if the regime can meaningfully improve the economic health and trajectory of the country. Khamenei similarly stated in his March 21st Vows message that addressing the people's economic problems will largely solve Iran's political and socio-cultural issues, as CTP previously reported. Khamenei called on the presidential administration, parliament, judiciary, and all institutions to prioritize realizing the New Year's slogan, control inflation and increase economic production, in his April 4th speech. Khamenei may have been responding to regime officials' overwhelming focus on the hijab in recent days and implicitly instructing them to redirect their attention to the economy. Iranian leaders have continued overtly threatening to retaliate against recent Israeli airstrikes in Syria, but have not yet done so. Several senior IRGC leaders repeated on April 4th their commitment to retaliation in response to Israel killing 2 IRGC officers in airstrikes in Damascus on March 30th. These remarks follow several days of Iranian officials and state media publicly vowing to seek to revenge. Iranian leaders have several retaliation options, which they are likely weighing. Regime officials have frequently warned that they hold the U.S. accountable for Israeli airstrikes and could attack U.S. positions in Syria in response. Iran has likely acted on this threat previously, such as when Iranian-backed militants conducted a kamikaze drone attack on a U.S. base in northeastern Syria, killing an American contractor on March 23rd. Iran could alternatively target Israeli personnel or interests abroad, as it has tried to do in the past. In conclusion, Khamenei's endorsement of mandatory hijab veiling suggests that the regime is still intent on enforcing the controversial dress code, despite ongoing debates among Iranian officials about the best way to do so. Khamenei also emphasized that solving Iran's economic problems is critical to promoting societal cohesion and stability. Meanwhile, Iranian leaders continue to threaten retaliation against Israeli airstrikes in Syria, though they have not yet acted on these threats. Iranian leaders have several retaliation options available to them, including targeting U.S. positions in Syria or Israeli personnel or interests abroad. We will continue to monitor the situation closely and provide updates as they become available. That's all for today's update. Please remember to subscribe.